Borough Council meeting for March 11th, 2024. Reading of the minutes, council has a copy. Are there any corrections or additions? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the February minutes.
Make that motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Alright. Citizen remarks, please come up to the podium, state your name, your address for the record, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
My name is Carolyn Bear. My home address is 250 York Road, but I have a property at 20 East Broadway in the borough. Do I need to give you any more information?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so I am the manager of the Goldsboro Firemen's Club. I've worked over there for 34 years. Our sole purpose is to support that volunteer fire company. So to me, there's a lot of fire companies that don't have the luxury of having a social club. This one does. With that, what it means is we don't have to impose a fire tax out to the community to every cover the residents. So I think that's a bonus. I also think elected officials, that should be their main priority for their constituents, is to look to see what is their best interest. And to me, the best interest is that you're not imposing fire tax. So with that, I don't understand why one elected official in here decided to bash the club. So I would like to read to you, I made a mistake in the newsletter, and I had to put it on Facebook, that there was a mistake, they're not offering all paid ways. So a member, Corey Puffle, says, you should make the money you need again. Ron Cohn says, that's what drew most of the people to sign up at the club. A lot of people never renewed and stopped going. The Falls and other places have good, cheaper ways. So here's all I have to say. I hold my elected officials at a higher standard. They need to lead by example. We don't need any more elected officials that are full of arrogance and ignorance. And this comment, 100% is full of that. So I'm going to ask you, Mr. Combs, what was the purpose of that post?
That was blood all out of proportion.
No, I just read
I
it.
know, as me as one, as a member for years, that was one of the things that drew me there. And I knew that drew a lot of people there. And people keep questioning about that. And I always said, well, it's probably not coming back. The people suggested, well, how come the prices of the wings don't go up? Why don't they just raise the cost a little bit and continue to do that? You're still gonna make money.
Okay, in my 3 minutes, because I don't want to cut it over, because I'm going to tell you, arrogance is making a statement that you absolutely don't know is true. Ignorance is making that statement that isn't true. 100%. You may say we lost a lot of people. We have more members right now than we've had ever. We had to increase the number in 2019. After 2020, when we stopped donating Canadians, we've had to keep increasing it every year. Most members ever. Secondly, just so you know, when you're going to make a statement, make it fact. The Falls running wing special on Thursday at $9.95. Ours are $9 on ours. We are the cheapest around. The better part, that's your opinion, you're entitled to that. Other than that, no. So we don't need another elected official that is full of arrogance and ignorance. Thank you.
That was free speech. I'm sorry that offended you, but it was free speech.
My
What about the comment? What
stay
about
off
the
of
comments?
Facebook.
What about the comments when they're saying people that did leave and went to the horse club?
Alright, we're moving on.
Nobody brought that up.
You can have my 3 minutes.
We're talking about when you brought up, Mr. Combs.
Yeah,
I
apologize
as
for
an
it.
elected official, and you should be looking out for the betterment of the residents here. That club, you have how many businesses in this town?
It's just an ordinance we put in place.
Well, because- Let's go back to arrogance and
Alright,
ignorance.
moving on.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Carol.
Alright, any more Police report, Chief Lutz.
For the month of February, we handled 69 incidents in the borough. By criteria, we had part one offense, which was zero part one offense, sorry, I was underneath the table. We had one part two offense, which is a drug. We had 2 non-traffic citations and 2 all other offenses. We issued 13 citations, 1 warning, and 38 other calls for service for a total of 57. Calls for services were animal complaints, EMS calls, fire department calls, information received, PFA violation, repossession, search calls, miscellaneous, suspicious persons, trespass, traffic stops, and welfare checks. That's all I have from my report. If you have any questions for me?
Hey Chief, with the warm weather coming up, hopefully soon, I know in the past, it was kind of winter months, we changed things, summer months with the landings being open. Are we reverting back to that type of schedule?
We typically get back more bicycle patrol.
Okay.
We also have the luxury of having the fish commission officer that basically operates out of our building. She parks her vehicle there, so if there's any concerns with that, we push it to her. We've addressed concerns in the past of what transpires down here in these parking lots over the summertime. So she's well aware of that, but yes, we will revert back the way that we typically do. You know, our foot patrols, we're still doing foot patrols in the borough, but they might be a little bit more frequent during times that voters are over and down in the parking lots.
That also, Chief, is when
Well, that's
you'll
not,
see the violations at that stop sign in the morning. It's during the week and the weekend, where they just blow through that. I don't mean to be depressed, I'm just like, this is when the peak.
right,
Just to let you know.
starting like.
You know, I'm anal about this, but it's people complaining.
warming up the wall, I can't drive down there.
Yeah.
But then we did bring up the ditty at the last meeting, that the speed on South York Street, they're starting to get out of hand again. I don't know if that reached you or not.
We will, we'll address that. We did issue, from that time, they were out there, and I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 citations were on York Street
South York Street.
this past month. So they were out there sitting. Obviously, there was some violations, so they took care of it.
All right, appreciate that.
And it's also my understanding that you asked, someone asked the lieutenant for a Cody report. Just to let you know, I did not bring that Cody report. I spoke to Mr. Rich Creek, who told me not to bring it. The lieutenant did print it out,
What was
but
the basis on
I
that?
didn't bring it.
What was the basis on that?
What do we need it for? We don't have time to deal with it right now with this COVID.
Okay, I didn't know the police chief reported to you, but okay. All right, thanks, chief.
Yep. Anything else?
No. Thank you.
All right, we need a motion to, accept the chief, or the police chief's report.
I'll make that motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, Chief Smith with the fire report.
Trying to get a couple of things out of the way. Here is a copy of the list of residents within the borough that meet the requirements for the tax, property tax. And that can be handed over to the borough manager. So when they file their taxes, if they choose to claim that, they can. And if you need supporting documentation.
No, they pay the tax and then we'll reimburse.
Yeah, and that's fine, but if you need supporting documentation, just let me know. For the month of February, we had 19 calls, 5 structures, 1 automatic alarm, 1 carbon monoxide, 1 vehicle fire, 1 MVA no injury, 1 MVA with injury, medical assist, 7 fire police calls, and 1 smoke detector. We had 2 trainings and 2 fundraisings. Currently, the fire department is meeting with all three of the fire departments as part of a fire committee to look at streamlining fire service within the township, the boroughs, and so forth. It's going very well. We've had 2 meetings. We have since opened the door for the township supervisors on a rotating basis of a single supervisor attending those meetings to take that information back to the rest of the supervisors. And that is to pass information back and forth. I have juniors in a fire school right now. They're completing up. They'll be starting next year. Goldsboro Borough just recently made a purchase. I'm going to make this public now. Made a purchase of a Kawasaki Mule 1000 HD for use with brush fires, ATV, auto accidents along the railroad. Norfolk Southern has been contacted about that and the steps that we'll have to take to get authorization to run the railroad and outside of the borough itself. With that, it's also good for PR, parades, and that kind of stuff.
Did you say the borough wanted or the fire department?
Oh, the fire department bought it.
He didn't say borough.
But for borough and the borough use and stuff along the railroad tracks. I expect that will be probably in service in 3 months. Outside of that, that's all I have for the fire department.
Any discussion for the fire department? Need a motion to accept the fire report?
Before we do, there's only one here, Carolyn. Carolyn doesn't reside in the borough,
She owns property.
her mother and her.
I was told she does, but okay.
But you have to reside.
And that's fine, that can be stricken, and the other 2 then, and that's fine. I'm going based off of the president of the executive board sharing that with me, that's all. Actually, it was a list of who was qualified that I got, so, that's all.
All right, I think I need a motion to accept the fire report. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed? All right. Mayor's report.
Touching on that tax incentive, borough manager has that. I know the flyer's out for the kids fishing derby, and that's a big thing. The fire department is doing, along with the Fireman's Club, has a picnic table that we're going to be putting together March 23rd and getting it established out there on the property. I've been in touch with Plowman, the VFW and the fire department. Well, yeah, VFW and the fire department. And then it's going to get placed out there on March, it's going to get put together March 23rd and then placed March 23rd. We're working with Plowman. The old picnic table is going to be taken down this week and removed, and then that area cleared out. There will be fire police out there. PennDOT, I've spoken to Rudy. They're going to look to see, get a signboard put up at the construction entrance to the woods on that side. And I'm gonna throw this in too, I have to.
You're talking about for the derby, right?
Yeah. So, I don't know if you're aware of the 150 plus homes going on the backside of the woods.
Yeah.
So, we're working a deal with that.
Did anybody talk to official groups?
I would believe Plowman or the Northern York County Fishing Group did. They spoke to them, because they got permission to do whatever. I'm out of that, I'm just providing fire police for
I
traffic.
can make sure they were contacted.
I know they approached us about setting up for a food stand. And then the Northern York County Fishing Group is going to get all the donations, period. So it's going to that. Spring cleanup, middle of April. I haven't set a date, but I'll let you know when it is. It's going to involve the fire department, firefighters from both Shelley's that reside in Shelley's are going to walk Shelley's, pick up trash and stuff. Firefighters that live down in the borough are going to work the borough side of it. So we're going to try to knock both out at the same time.
Remind them all the vets are down below.
Yeah.
I'll be able to move them up there.
Make sure we get that on the website then, whenever that date gets established.
Yeah, I don't know that data.
I'm sure you're aware of Water Street, the underpass. I handed off some paperwork. It's not a big deal. I know it's flooded out. Whenever that floods out, if it's unsafe, like I had said before, the road is going to get shut down, and Will's got the cones that I Yeah,
doesn't matter how many times you put up there, they're still
I
driving.
know, but they take that, they
We're
take,
always gonna put signs up saying forward and over it,
yeah,
road subject to flooding, and that's all the borough is responsible for.
yeah.
We're not responsible for putting cones up or anything.
And any of the times that I've been down there that somebody's driven under, I've explicitly told them if the fire department is called, they could potentially face a fine from the police department. So, and the last thing I wanna do is see a car go into a creek, that it could be prevented. And then the Cody report. The reason for that is we're paying $72,000. I wanna see the justification for that. And it's not, even if it just comes to me.
I wanna see it too, but I want these guys to be the ones that say, hey, we want that. good.
Well, and that was the whole point of asking for that. I wanted to take a look at it and say, okay, council members, this is what we're looking at. Because I know there's talk now with the police department. I'll leave it at that. And
So all I know what the Cody report is, I don't
It's just
know.
the hours that they, it's only the hours that they get called out.
in this area.
It's not hours they do for firefighters, it's not hours, no, the
No,
police.
police.
Please.
Oh.
It's not hours that they do foot patrol, it's not hours that do like, not no administration, it's only when they get called out, that's it.
So if they're only spending, and I'm just throwing a fictional number out. If they only spend 10 hours down here per month at 120 hours, is $72,000 really? That's all I'm saying.
We can
Logically.
We can't get afforded their own police department.
Well, no, and that's understandable, but there are other options. I'm Fairview Township, there's Manchester, I'm not saying yes, no, I'm not at all, and it's not my place. But at 72,000, based on the hours spent down here, you have to weigh the two. Because honestly, if you think about it, that price isn't ever going to go back down again. If anything, it's going to go up.
And Fairview's gonna be the same price or a little better, I've already checked it out.
And that's understandable.
I would caution you, if you get those numbers and make those numbers public,
No, they
I'll
won't
be
be
really
going
disappointed if our rates go up because of it.
Well, they're going to go up they've gone up
I
every year,
understand.
have they not?
Yep.
So, it is going to make a difference, but it'll give you a full scope. But that's all, as mayor, that's all I have, sir.
All right, motion to accept the mayor's report,
I'll make that motion.
second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? ELH&P report,
Just gonna copy it. And water. The water, and water, yeah.
all right, discussion for ELH&P and water company report.
Do you have any maintenance or anything you're looking at on the radar screen right now, or since we did that switch stuff over?
Yeah, for electric or water wise, hoping to get, some more meters put in and we gotta replace a bunch of valves and stuff. But I'm hoping to get that, fuel making company right now. They come out and freeze the, what's that?
Fox.
Fox, yeah. They come out and freeze the line and just put new and just a damn.
Okay.
They deal with them abandoned.
Okay.
To the houses or from the wells?
No, for the streets.
For the dollar valves on the street?
Oh, the streets are loaded with valves, yep. Yeah, the house valves are, they're gone.
Is there anything electrically on the radar screen at this point?
Anything
That you gotta change out, or are we okay right now?
Right now, we have all the new streetlights to put up and everything, they have all them. I have some holes to replace here and there, but other than that, there's nothing, no lines leaking.
Did they get the lights back up down here at the Fish Commission?
Yes.
They did.
That was all because they weren't cut the trees.
No.
They did.
I wasn't sure if the street lighting was back, whatever is there is functional
Yeah.
at all.
Speaking of lighting, Plowman's asked about that pole up there.
One
Where
of
they
them,
plant, yeah, on the top of the hill.
yeah.
I don't know if that's something to look in on the solar power, just to call it.
No, we're gonna, depending on what we have ours, budget, we're gonna go like it used to be, that pole will be replaced, and then another pole put there.
Yeah.
And there'll be another pole put down by the dam, and there'll be a pole put out where the picnic table is.
Okay.
And there'll be a sign put out there, entering Goldsboro.
Boy, that'd be something.
Yes, entering Goldsboro, spelled out, so they know it's not on Goldsboro. And when they can turn around the square, and bring it back.
Right.
He asked me.
Yes.
They're gonna just go where they're.
Pardon me? Yes. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. But we can try to make it plain and simple what we made for the borough. That's my future intention.
For the truck drivers coming down?
Yeah, they look for the gold.
Yeah, I know exactly what.
I tell them all the time.
Goldsboro, not Goldsboro.
What? Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
That's this measure's fault.
I think you did.
No, it's their fault. They go by the GPSs and they take in Goldsboro and it comes up, it brings them here.
That's a good idea to get lighting out there, that way you can see the road folks.
Yep. If you got it open now, we got it.
I need a motion to accept the ELA and Peach report and the water company reports.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
All opposed? Engineers report. Need a motion to accept the engineers report.
I'll make that motion.
Second? All in favor? Opposed? Solicitors report.
If you haven't done so already, get your State Ethics Act disclosures in. Need them in before May. The other item will be later in the agenda. I'll have some comments on a couple of things. But for now, get the ethics disclosures in.
All right, committee reports, buildings and grounds.
You wanna accept it? or not?
yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Motion to accept the solicitors report.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Committee reports, buildings and grounds.
The windows are done, but the doors are still working, the doors are hardware for the rest of it. So we got the.
Charlie, as long as I've been in this borough, those windows that need to change, they're great.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
What does it make a difference in here?
Temperature wise.
Temperature wise, sound wise, everything.
Yeah.
You were saying about a fire siren?
Yeah.
Nothing went off.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
you could actually talk it when the fire alarm was on.
I just can't wait to have an office so that, there's not 6 people talking in the background when I'm trying to talk to you.
Yeah. It'll get better. Think take time.
What needs finished here?
For what?
It says still needs to be finished.
Yeah, the doors aren't changing yet.
Oh,
The doors will be changed over the brown doors yet. Just only one of them's here, we can the other 3.
And the lease for the ball field?
Yes. I can't come up with anything out of the paperwork up in the office. And the other thing is, I don't know why the borough even wants to worry about that ball field. They've been paying for the last 50, 60 years to pay to mow that place, upkeep it, and the borough residents can't ever use it. The Red Man Baseball Association, which is great, uses it from April to October, you know what I mean? So, my opinion to you guys is to walk away. Just forget about it, we quit maintaining it, about it.
The paperwork that I thought I had was actually, an agreement when the athletic association was set up. I think it was down in York County as a nonprofit.
Yeah, Kelly's.
So I didn't have any kind of lease agreement. Now, my understanding is, just from a 1,000-foot view, is it's somewhere around 1990, there was a lease given between Goldsboro Borough and, what was Redland Baseball and Softball at that time for a 100-year lease, for them to lease that field down there from the boroughs.
And I was with that from me.
Yeah.
There was nothing ever recorded. It has been revised. We went in and revised, Goldsboro Athletic Association.
Who's we?
I found they
Who's
survived.
Who's
A
we?
group of residents. We've already had the first meeting, everything's been set up, everything's been paid for and filed through the state. We've already gave Redland, they're going ahead to continue to do what they're doing. Goldsboro's contribution, from what I understand from the individual, was their mowing it, was the donating from the borough.
Okay, well, but I'm gonna tell you my opinion, as a taxpayers, why do they wanna keep
this was put in place, we're Goldsboro residents, there are a lot of Redland baseball players that live in this borough. Most of them play at this field. We have plans of bringing back the bottom field also. So we are gonna let Redland use the top field. If nobody's using the bottom field, they wanna put the T-ball field back in there. Otherwise, the church wants to do things for softball games, that we're gonna allow them to use the bottom part of the field if Redland's not using that field. We're gonna come up with schedules, I'll get a schedule from the president, and we'll get all that worked out.
One
If
suggestion,
Goldsboro wants to contribute and still mow, as, you know, like they have for years, that's fine. If not,
$130 a week. One suggestion that I would make, because I think, at least from what I'm hearing from council, everybody has a basic understanding of a lease that was put in place in the mid-80s, but we don't have a paper copy. Nobody seems to have a paper copy of it, which actually says what the obligations for any of these parties are. That's what we've been looking for a long time. Nobody seems to have a copy of this. If you do have a copy of a written document, any of you have it, that would be helpful. First and foremost, because there may be termination provisions in there. So for example, if one party to that lease wanted to terminate that lease, there would have to be, you know, it could be 30 days notice, 60 days notice. I don't know what it would be, but those are very common in leases. But more importantly, the second suggestion that I would have for council and also the athletic association is, if there's a proposal for, okay, here's what we would collectively like to see it operate as, write something down so that it can get in front of council and then we could actually have the terms of it.
I'm working on something like that. But like I said, it's gonna be a multiple use. It isn't gonna be just strictly for the baseball. There's plenty of room there. We can put a little place set in, like another little park for kids that are there that don't wanna watch the baseball. They can, you know, play on the swing.
One of the things that comes up somewhat frequently with this municipality is a lot of these agreements, you know, small community, they were on essentially handshake deals.
Yeah, right.
And we don't collectively have a whole lot in writing on this stuff. So I would just suggest moving forward on something like that, that we actually
And you guys can make a decision.
have a proposal on
I
it.
spoke to a surviving member that actually lives in the apartment. Is how I got all the information and how we were able to do what we did. Like I said, he put us on the right track, he gave us the info, nothing's been recorded since 1950. You know that, you saw that. In the bylaws, it states that Newberry Township was not to own it, or Goldsboro Borough was not to own it. It was to be operated by residents of the borough, is how it is written in the bylaws. So we went through the bylaws.
There's nothing in the bylaws
The
whatsoever.
bylaws have been fixed, we had an attorney, the attorney went through it, paperwork's been done, paperwork's been filed, it's taken care of. I know he made an agreement with the president of Redland, we're gonna get together for our monthly meeting. Tim Dunchak is also gonna be put on this month as a board of directors, and KJ Keiser, that Lincoln Shelter, is also gonna be put on as board of directors. Like I said, we have a lot of Redland baseball players, Little League baseball players, right here in the borough. And that's their home field. So that's where we're at with that.
I don't think we should be spending the taxpayers' money to cut those fields. I don't think we should be doing that.
No, that's
It's gonna
what we can
save
take
the
care of.
borough. Excuse me, Mr. Combs, I'm talking right now, when I'm done, I'll yield the floor to you, okay? That's how I feel, you know, the taxpayers are footing the bill for this. And, you know, I think we ought to walk away from it, that's my opinion. Mr. Combs, you have the floor.
No, we'll leave it up to the residents. We got
I
to
believe
get
it's up
out
to
there.
the council, isn't it?
The word is
Yeah,
getting out.
it'll be up, it's up to us council members to vote on that or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
Not the citizens.
I'm not gonna fight because I know everybody here has a hard one against me. I really don't
Oh,
care.
come on.
Come on, really? I mean, out there, every time I come in here, I'm attacked right off the bat, every day, or every meeting. You know, when are we gonna come to a level?
Brittany, we're moving on. Yes, sir, sorry.
Do we need a motion or anything?
I'll get something together.
Yeah.
If they wanna work with
Yeah,
that.
Can I just say one thing?
a proposal of some sort.
Let me go to my grandmother and see if my grandmother has something. This is like crap. So let me
I know there's
see.
nothing here.
Right, no, we had some rats in the office, so I'll go to her and see, I'll look at all these machines. Maybe there's something in there.
Yeah, the best that Dad can come up with, he thought he was sitting in a council meeting around 1990 when this lease was put together from the borough to Redmond.
Okay, I'll make your day, that doesn't hurt your day. I will see what we can come up with.
In the meantime, though, I would appreciate whatever you and whomever have come up with as, schedules, whatever.
Between all of us and between Redland, that's an agreement we'll come to with Redland.
And as long as, I mean, my only concern is that it's not involving the borough. You're not making decisions for the borough.
And it's supposed to keep kids active and get them.
And I understand that,
That's what it's all
and
about.
I understand and I appreciate that. All I'm asking is that I wanna see on paper, I wanna see what's you all have come up with.
That'll be this meeting, we'll get things together.
There is no, nobody to point.
Yeah, we pointed to, West Shore Rec.
Just to like a point.
Okay, sanitation and sewer, I'm sorry, emergency management.
From emergency management standpoint, Charlie and I had a meeting here, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
With number 4 or 5 person from FEMA who we were dealing with. And it looks like do you sign off on that or not? Can you? Okay, cause I'm having trouble.
Yeah, I
getting
signed
it
off
signed.
on everything.
Okay, alright. Just for the record, I can tell you there's been a lot of people going back to Ellen, going back to Conchleys. This is back to the Ida storm?
Yep.
Damages?
Yep.
And, what it looks like to me, or what it looks like is happening, between some stuff on Water Street, some different things here, it looks like we're eligible for about $206,000. And I can tell you, you can throw stones at me, but I couldn't have got that done. Charlie's the one who got that done. I couldn't have put the time in that to
We only spent, what was that for?
That was for Tropical Storm Ida, when it came up through.
Fishing Creek, Westwood Road. And that goes into the emergency management fund?
No.
No,
that would be-
FEMA, okay.
And we only spent about $150,000 of it, so we're still gonna have another,
206,000.
so we'll have about another 50,000 to spend on doing more stuff down there on the same storm stuff.
How much money, have we received so far?
From them? Nothing.
Not
Well, we got the immediate
Well, yeah,
response
upfront,
stuff.
yeah.
I don't remember what that
Yeah.
was.
15,000.
Was it?
Yeah,
It might not be quite that much.
And that application hasn't been approved yet?
That approval, it has been approved on FEMA level, we just have to
So
sign
it
it.
takes a year for them.
Yeah, FEMA distributes the funds down to the state, and the
We
state
have-
distributes it down.
Yes, we have no paperwork. The only thing that we have to deal with anything is what we spent. That's all we have. So we can't even tell FEMA to do this, do that. They're telling us what they're
Where'd the money come from to do the fishing creek?
doing, general.
Okay.
We had to do it in order to get
Reimbursed.
Reimbursed.
Okay.
That's all I got on emergency management.
All right, finance,
I have nothing on there, no.
Planning?
Planning, sites, just a
Just the,
client project,
Yes.
that's down the part of down there,
Do they just run that into 2 homes?
it's nothing, it's just what it is.
recreation,
Yeah, recreation, I have the chili and salsa cook-off, to be held June 22nd. The yard sales, June 28th, 29th, and that's it on that.
okay, sanitation and
You
sewer,
already went over the sufficient review.
sanitation and sewer,
That's either you or Cory.
nothing on
One thing I have for sanitation is, we still have an issue with picking up recycling bins. Obviously, you know that from several residents, Clark himself.
Right.
We have the couch that's been sitting up here on South Ward Street for almost 5 months now, sitting in the same spot. If the people moved away, whatever, somebody's not able to call, can the borough manager get taken care of and get it out in the middle of the sidewalk?
Just stop and
But it's not the people's sofa that's sitting there. I think that people moved out,
Okay.
and it's been sitting on the sidewalk
Then it's,
5 months.
where's it at?
I'll stop down and take a
It's
look.
down close to the junk man's house. here
Yeah,
on the left.
it's like 2 or 3 houses down.
Or, okay, well, that's, yeah, it's,
They moved out.
that's engine company.
Also, I know my daughter
Yeah, I'll
called
take care of it.
Monday to have a recliner picked up and put in front of their house today, and it has not been picked up again.
Take a week.
Well, it has been a week. They were notified a week ago.
Yeah, when they get that call, it gets on the computer. And when their truck has room, they do it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. You and I, when the truck gets full, I'm not saying they're going back, but hopefully they will.
They
We have no control, all we can do is call in. It's our control at that point.
They did pick up my recycling today.
Did it?
If they wouldn't have done it today, it would have been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But they did, so.
Today they had two guys on the truck.
I got my numbers.
They didn't? Oh, you had numerous times where you did it. Yeah, I'm sure that you're underwater. Sure. Yeah. Thanks.
So, streets and highways?
Nothing there, I'm starting to get the hose patch, I should get more, hose patching.
Or keep it going?
Yeah. Well, not really grow, but they still need more.
There's another one by the stop sign now, coming
Yeah.
off, off Main Road.
Yeah, there's one right here, ready. If you got anybody knows where there's one, don't be afraid to call in town. It's on Burke Road.
General and electric utility and water company?
Everything running smoothly there.
Zoning?
Everything good there.
All right, I need a motion to accept, is there any discussion for the, rest of the discussion for the committee reports? I need a motion to accept the committee reports.
Make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
No, this one just explained, this one to explain.
Unfinished business, we have the final subdivision plan for the Klein Prince.
What this is, it's actually just administrative things on what we're doing. Property exists, been there forever, the borough has always known it as separate properties, they've been taxed separately, trash, everything has always been built separately from the two properties. So the planning commission has already had it in front of them, they signed off, so now it's up to you guys, whether you wanna do it or not. And I have it here, if anybody wants to see what it is.
What are we doing?
What's that?
What are we doing?
All they're doing is give a deed, that's all they're doing. But they had to spend probably $15,000 to get this, yeah.
Is it a subdivision or is it a?
Yeah, complete subdivision. Yeah, they've been surveyed, they've been engineered, everything.
And where is that for? The address?
32 and 34
Yeah,
South.
South York.
Yeah, it's where the yellow and blue
Cindy
sign
Klein
is.
lives there. George Klein, they live there. Yep, that's the property. She's selling to the new her daughter.
And what are the plans that people have for it?
What's that?
What are the plans that new people have?
The people that are the tenants in the tenant house for the last 25 years, paying separate things, are buying it from her when she gets the deed.
So it's gonna stay where it is.
Exactly, same people, everything, nothing changes, not the yard, not the property lines, absolutely nothing. There's a print, anybody wants to see it, you have to explain to anybody, or actually her realtor is here, he would even do it. So, otherwise, if you guys agree to it, you guys vote on it.
I make a motion to sign it.
I'll need everybody's signature on all these prints.
I'll second.
Second?
You got a motion?
All those all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any other unfinished business? Okay, new business.
I don't believe him. There is no such thing as an employee handbook. Never anybody advised to look at anything. A borough rep, a borough member, walk around and do packets
what needs to be done with that is council needs to make a decision on whether they want to put together a formal employee handbook, okay? And if in fact, they are interested in doing that, then make an affirmative vote that we're gonna pursue this. I'll then take what Ron put together, report back with any suggestions, corrections, etc. And
That's
then,
gonna cost you a ton of money for nothing.
Yeah.
and then council can make a vote one way or another if they wanna institute that handbook.
So basically, the borough has no full-time employees. If we go by,
You can't go by anybody else on this.
no, and that's what I'm,
If you guys wanna do a handbook,
no,
you have to bring an attorney in or a HR person and set
I
that.
understand that, that's not where I was.
Okay, you can't use what you're handling.
I understand that, patience, be patient.
It was a draft. Something to draft off
It
of.
would cost us so much.
Every township, every other borough, every business, everybody has.
Jason, is there any other further
Part-time
protections
work.
you need for us to add in
We have, yes.
Yeah.
Well, so typically, what, those handbooks are most commonly used for are, disciplinary protocols, okay, and due process kind of thing. So the idea would be that if you have a formalized, protocol for how complaints are made, how, investigations are done, and a continuum of, potential, ramifications, disciplinary ramifications, an employer can look at that handbook, follow that process, and to the extent that that process is a legal process, right, under the law, that's usually, used as a defense in terms of how, certain, actions, usually dealing with disciplinary actions are made. But then the other thing too is, things like, drug use, all those things, they're very, I wouldn't necessarily call them boilerplate, but, a lot of the things in most employee handbooks are, you would think that they would exist otherwise, but they formalize them in one set document, in one set way. But yeah, the biggest thing is having an institutionalized process for how complaints could be made, or how investigations are done, or how.
Do you know if you have any ordinances out there currently that?
Not really.
Yeah, your ethics thing.
That covers council members.
Covers employees.
Covers employees.
Yeah.
We have that, which we did last month. That's a short document, but at least gives a roadmap for how the borough's gonna operate. But no, there's nothing, not that I'm aware of.
I got a hold of that call 2 months ago, 3 months ago, to try and get us a blueprint of what Canton Borough. Some other, Lewisburg Borough, anybody. Nobody lets you have a copy of it, nothing. They don't exist. And that call is our best source because it's free to us. Where's everything are free to us.
See, that was my question, was our ethics statement or that was done, would that cover us enough?
No, that was done, at least as I understood it, as a roadmap and as a gesture of goodwill moving forward, okay? That is not going to be akin to an employee handbook. What it will do is, it'll at least give a starting process to the borough to pursue, because there is there's language in there in terms of how employees, council members, etc., are supposed to act, okay? We don't have anything like that in writing right now. I mean, again, you go back to sort of, you think common sense, but that, as written, that resolution, that ethics policy, has a procedure by which those individuals could then be reported to, council for an investigation. That is not employee handbook though.
So there was 3 employees before, nobody really felt the need to have it.
So if we do
make the decision to have a handbook, you're saying we have to have an HR department?
Well, you can get an HR person to sit down and work
Just
out.
put it together.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
someone like that's gonna put it together, because they're gonna come in and see how we operate.
Right, okay.
We have-
And that's gonna cost the taxpayers money?
Yes.
We have a resident, nothing's here, but probably.
I'm sorry, Ron, I didn't hear you.
I said, we probably have a resident here that they go in and do it.
Well, I think we have somebody cost. Somebody knows, you know.
Yeah, it would have to be an unbiased.
Or the lawyer, I mean, the lawyer knows how our borough works.
But like you said, we had 3 before, we have more employees now. Every company, everybody has a handbook of those. What they need.
Okay.
We can move on.
What's the deal with the fee resolution?
Okay. Yeah, in your packet, you have the fee resolution, which is this right here.
So we had one in 2005, is that
That's the
what?
last one. This is the one. So I did add one down on the bottom of the first page. And we changed, let me start. Down here where it says that check, that's, I added all that in. Okay. Thanks, you guys, you can stop by tomorrow. Prince. Thank you. Thank you. The animal, exotic animal thing and all that, building permit, that needs raised, all that needs raised. And you don't have to read any of the things I put here, you guys can change things wherever you want, but we need to get this done.
Can I jump in?
Yes, we're in it.
So, municipalities typically have what are called fee schedules, okay? And, any sort of permitting, license, application, you know, from soup to nuts, should be really compiled in one place so that you know what you're charging. Every number of years, and in this case, we're going closer to 20 years, but you'd like to do it sooner than that, but every periodic number of years, they should be at least looked at to make sure that the fee schedule is commensurate with, okay, what does council think these actually cost today? So, you know, there'll be things, the building permit, one suggestion, the building permit where you have estimated cost pricing there and then each additional thousand, you know, that could probably be fine. But some of these other things, you know, might need to be updated in terms of how much they actually cost. One that I would put to council's attention on the second page is garbage collection. That's done by bid contract, so that should not have a price in it any longer. That should refer to the actual contracted for price, which
Under carbon.
We don't wanna maintain 2 different lists.
correct.
Is that, are you talking about the $13?
Yes.
That's on the first page.
Correct. So when this was done in 2005, that was put in as a per month garbage collection cost. That has been superseded time and time again with any garbage bids. Essentially, it's not good information any longer. That's on what the borough has in place from 2005.
So C contract.
Yeah, so what I would suggest council do, and they don't have to necessarily go through every single item tonight, but should take a look at this and see whether, they want to change any of those pricings, okay? The one that definitely has to be reworded is garbage collection, and then the other would be, there would have to be a price put in for ATV permit.
Well, slow your roll there for a second. Wouldn't the kilowatt hour be the same thing as the garbage collection?
No, that's 12.5, we're getting 12.5 forever. But
Yeah, but there we are, we got 2 different places where we can get home with different prices, is what I was getting at. I think that's what you were talking about with that.
Yeah, I think that could definitely be a second item then.
So then, the ATV permit, what is an ATV permit?
That
Well,
is,
that's-
that is the event permit. So if you read that ordinance, we have a copy of it in the office, but if there's certain provisions or certain requirements are met, where you're building tracks, or you have multiple people driving on
if you
property.
have enough land that you can let somebody come and buy on your property,
Yeah,
you can get a permit for that function.
so it's like 3 riders or a track, system, I think, if I recall, but,
Which I never used, but got
I'm
it.
seeing a rabbit hole there, that's all.
Yeah. But no, it's in the ordinance. Yeah, just we don't have a fee for the permit.
So we need that, the chicken permit cost, right?
I'm gonna work for it.
yeah, we'll put chicken in there.
Do it underneath.
Not long there.
No,
This is essentially a worksheet for council.
This is a rough draft of what.
yeah.
This is ripped from the 2005 with a couple of things just added.
What is the chicken permit now?
$50 for 3 years.
Is there a cost, and I'm only asking, is there a cost associated with, like, if somebody doesn't clean off their sidewalks and we have to go do it?
No,
We're not doing anything that way?
no, we never had, I'm not saying we can't.
Same thing with cutting grass, if people aren't cutting grass on their property, we don't do anything with that.
That's usually ordinance resolution, or ordinance enforcement.
Okay.
And fines. Or that it would be if they don't pay that.
We don't wanna put any fees on for doing anything like that.
That's up to you guys. Put a suggestion down next meeting, we'll talk about it, go from that with you guys. We can decide what that. The only ones that we did that, we had the amounts in there, the bad check, tax verification, duplicate bill, memo, copy, all that is what everybody else is charging in the industry. That, those are all to do. But if you want to charge more, we can. That was great.
And if we want to charge less, we can.
I don't know if you go back with a elected tax
Just
collector.
kidding.
Yeah, I think if you go back to elected tax collector, I don't think we get one to do it. Not for less.
I'm not for less.
Oh, we're always up for less. I agree, less is more.
Taxes, everything.
So what about the lawn?
We had them yet?
Yep, long term bids.
Got 3 of them. We know right now.
Oh, but
How
then
many do we have?
3? Would you pull them out and take a look at them? You can even read them all. I'm not even sure how they're worded, so.
Do we require any supporting documentation with them insurance wise or anything, or they just flat out bid?
These, well, they have to have their, they have to have their insurance, yes. Okay, they're all on the first thing.
You read them out?
We have Colonial Lawn Care. We have Conley's Landscaping, that's the gentleman that's here. And Lawn Barber, that's the guy that does ours now. Okay, so for Borough Building, Lawn Care is, or that one, Lawn Barber is $50 for Borough Building. 67 for Conley's and 75 for blooming lawns. Next one's Borough Park, 115 and 120. Next one is Shelley Ball, or Athletic Field, sorry. 130. Conley's is 170, and the other Colonial is 185. Shelley Ball Field, 100 from Conley's, 120 from Colonial.
Water Street, 35.
Yeah, 45 for Conley's, 50 for Colonial.
Water tank, 220.
220?
Yeah, 20.
Oh, 20, that's it. We got this guy like $28. Okay, that's 20, Conley's 28, and Colonial is 30.
Well, 1 is 20.
28 for Conley, and 38 for Colonial.
Well, 3 is 35.
Conley 45, and, well, 50 for Colonial.
Entrance to Shelley's, and Valley Road, 25.
28 for Conley, and 35 for Colonial.
Shelley Park is 30.
41 for Conley, Colonial is 45.
Cemetery, 15.
Cemetery is 22 for Conley and 20 for Colonial. Sewer monitoring,
Is 20.
28 for Conley, 30 for Colonial.
AMP is 15.
Yeah, that's okay. 18 for Conley, 20 for Colonial.
Area of Fishing Creek and Pine and Valley Road is 20.
25 for Conley, 30 for Colonial.
Hourly rate per man for rural labor is 40.
50 for Conley, 65 for Colonial.
It's still $50 difference.
So the first bid,
So the lawn,
the first bid was
Yeah,
the
lawn
lowest
mower.
responsive on each of them, other than one single thing, it was $4.
I took all of them to each one of these spots and showed them exactly what they were bidding on. So they all did.
Where is the Colonial?
Colonial is 550 Cloverleaf Road, York.
Was there a mention of the ball fields that we were
Yep.
talking about
Yeah,
earlier?
they're on the pack. Yeah, the Shelley, or
That's Shelley's ball field.
yeah, the athletic field.
Athletic
Okay.
field.
Number 3, 130 for One Barber. Athletic field, 170 for Conley, and 185 for Clover.
That's a week.
That's a week, yeah.
I make a motion that we award the lawn, the grass cutting and the lawn barber.
As lowest responsive bidder.
Yeah, yeah.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Alright. Treasurer's report, council has a copy, any discussion? If not, I need a motion to, accept the treasurer's report,
I'll make that motion.
is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Presentation of the bills, any discussion on presentation of the bills?
I'd like to make a motion that we pay the bills.
Motion to pay the bills, is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Announcements? Meeting's adjourned. Motion to adjourn the meeting,
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
second?
Second.
All in favor?